everybody, I'm your ghost with the most and your fabulous host, Luke here, and I have just finished Pikmin 4, and it's pretty good. I don't think it's anything amazing, but it's a good game, but I think 3 is better. It controls well, and the gameplay is good, but I have problems with it, so let's just jump right into it, and spoilers for Pikmin 4. I am a brand new Pikmin fan. I just played all the games in preparation for 4. I liked all the games, except 2 is kind of annoying. Something I love about the first game in particular is how it kind of just lets you figure out everything on yourself. Besides the first day and the impact site, almost everything in the game you just figure out by yourself. There's no real tutorials or anything. One of my problems with 4 is the characters never shut the hell up. In the beginning of the game, the characters never stop talking, but after you get to around the second area, it basically stops and you can always skip the dialogue, which is nice. The problem is that the characters will still talk to you during gameplay, and their dialogue boxes appear right in the middle of the screen. It's very annoying, and even during the fucking final boss, it still happens. I looked in the settings menu to see if there was a way to turn off their commentary, and surprise, surprise, there's not. It's kind of similar to Luigi's Mansion 3. In that game, EGAD would talk to you during gameplay and just kind of tell you stuff you already knew or give you hints and stuff like that, but it wasn't a problem there because you had the option to turn it off. Pikmin 4 has no such option. I feel like it's at its worst during the night expeditions. The characters keep talking and saying the same things over and over again, even though you already know everything that they're saying, but they still treat it like it's the first time you're playing it. I am also not a fan of how they made the story so unnecessarily confusing. I cannot tell for the life of me whether this game retcons the entire series, or just none of the previous events are mentioned or not. There are some things that suggest everything was retconned, but other things that just suggest this is the same universe as the original trilogy. For example, in Olimar's Shipwreck Tale, when you first get Yellow Pikmin, Olimar wonders what they do differently from Red Pikmin. This is the 4th game in the series, so he should absolutely know what they would do by now, so this would suggest everything is being retconned. But in the Piklopedia, Olimar mentions the Gulix, but the Gulix doesn't appear in this game. The only time Olimar has ever even seen a Gulix was in the first game. Also, there's no reason to retcon anything in the first place. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's not like Pikmin has had a very long and overly complicated story or anything. I'm actually pretty pissed that they may or may not have retconned everything, because I just played all the games for the first time in preparation for 4. They literally just put the first 2 games on Switch. Why are they choosing to get rid of all the previous story now? There are so many people that are playing all of these games for the first time, and then they're gonna play 4, and now they're gonna be confused because everything's been retconned. Whose brain-dead decision was this? Plus, why is it called Pikmin 4 if it doesn't even continue the story? People just used to wonder if Hey Pikmin was canon, but now we have to wonder if any game in the series is even canon. Now, really quickly, let's change the subject to Hey Pikmin. I played the game and I personally enjoyed it, but when it came to the game's story, I at first really didn't like it. It was mainly that it took place on a different planet than PNF 404, yet it had similar animals, and it looked like, yes, another post-apocalypse Earth. I at first really hated this, but over time, it started to grow on me. I just started theorizing about why there are more than one planet that seem to have remnants of human society. I actually had a theory that Pikmin 4 could have taken place on the Hey Pikmin planet. I'm also really annoyed that they never gave that planet a name. In the first 3 games, it always seemed to me that human society had disappeared long ago, but in 4, the house that's abandoned in the game seems to be very well kept, all things considered, which I feel like would imply humans just recently disappeared. The planet in Hey Pikmin, while also abandoned by humans, does seem to be more in a well-kept condition than PNF 404, based off some visual details in the game. However, I no longer believe in this theory for a variety of reasons. None of the Hey Pikmin enemies appear in 4, and the Leafling IDs say they're from PNF 404. We will talk more about PNF 404 and Pikmin 4 a bit later. I have some not very nice things I want to say about it. Oh, and I definitely think it was a missed opportunity that none of the Hey Pikmin enemies appear in Pikmin 4. But how cool would it have been if we had gotten whatever this is? Or we had gotten this thing? Or even this okay, actually not that one. That one makes me uncomfortable. Night expeditions are fun, but I think it would have been preferred if they had actually let us just explore at night. And I don't think Dendori battles should be in story mode. It's just weird how it breaks up the normal gameplay. It should be a side mode. Also, Olimar as the main antagonist could have been so much cooler. He just appears like once per area, you fight him in a super easy Dandori battle, and that's it. It would have been a lot cooler if he was more of an active antagonist throughout the entire game. I do think it's cool how they decided to take the bad ending of the first game and expand on it, but I just have more questions than answers. How come when people go through the onion they get obsessed with Dandori battles? What even is Dandori exactly? I originally thought that if someone went through the onion they completely forgot who they were previously, but that's clearly not true because Olimar remembers who he is, which just brings up more questions. I also think this game is considerably less cool than the previous one. In the previous games, it was always implied that the planet you were on was a post-apocalypse Earth. There were always remnants of human society, which was always so cool and mysterious. It brought up so many different theories and possibilities. It made you wonder what happened to all the humans. They've had to have been gone for at least a very long time. But then in 4, you just go in someone's house and it's in perfect condition. It doesn't feel like we're on a post-apocalypse Earth anymore. It feels like we're in somebody's house while they're on vacation. It's not cool anymore. PNF 404 also apparently isn't even a remote unknown planet anymore because everyone and their fucking mother wants to come to this planet now, which also makes it substantially less cool. Really quickly, let's go over the day-night system in the series. In Pikmin 1 and 3, the system makes sense. In Pikmin 1, you only have 30 days to escape the planet, and in 3, there's the Dew system, which works alongside the day and night system. However, Pikmin 2 suffers from the day and night system because there's absolutely no reason for it to exist. In Pikmin 2, you have all the time in the world to beat the game, so the day-night system doesn't even make sense, and it's the same thing in Pikmin 4. The game is brought down by the day-night system because it doesn't need to be there. You'll just be having fun exploring the planet, and then you have to go back to the base, go through all the results and cutscenes, and then loading screens just to go back to where you were before. It's not like in Pikmin 1 and 3 where there's a purpose to the system. In 4, it's just annoying. Speaking of Pikmin 2, caves return in 4, and they're infinitely less annoying than they were in 2, which is nice, but I think I prefer the games without caves at all. 4 also introduces Oshi, and he's fine, I guess. I don't love him, but I don't hate him either. He's just kinda there, and I'd be fine if they got rid of him in the next game. He just kinda feels like a gimmick to me. I also accidentally called Ochi Poochie several times throughout my playthrough of the game. The bosses in Pikmin 4 are not nearly as cool as the one in 3. The bosses in Pikmin 3 have an unmatched spectacle and grandiose feeling about them that no other game in the series has. The bosses in Pikmin 4 are mainly in caves, reminiscent of the bosses in 2. I don't think any of the bosses are bad, and I really like the Disco Spider one, but the bosses were definitely better in 3. Some of the returning bosses in Pikmin 4 have actually been somewhat ruined. The Puffstool returns, but his spores don't make Mushroom Pikmin anymore. Isn't that like the whole reason people liked the Puffstool in the first place? The Smoky Prog returns, and I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but the boss kinda sucks now. What made the enemy so interesting and different in the first game was that it went straight for your base and murdered all your Pikmin there, and it would stalk you and it wouldn't go away until you defeated it. Now it's just in a cave, and you fight it and defeat it, and then you move on. It's also piss easy if you listen to the game. The cave recommends that you have purples, so if you listen to the cave and you have purples, you can beat it in like 9 seconds. The Smoky Prog and a few other bosses like the Emperor Bulblax will let out this roar that will scare your Pikmin and make them scatter. I just find this annoying and irritating. It's not hard to get your Pikmin back together, it's just annoying when they do it multiple times per fight. Also, this isn't really a complaint or anything, but Pikmin 4 is one of those games where you make your own avatar and you're like a silent protagonist, but like, I have to ask, does anyone actually like making their own avatar things? Like, I have not met a single person in my life that actually cares about making your own avatar. Pikmin 4 is easily the easiest game in the series, especially since you can just rewind time whenever you want. Hey, Pikmin is harder than Pikmin 4. I'm also not a fan of the music in Pikmin 4. None of it is bad, but I can't remember a single track in the entire game other than the title theme. Pikmin 1, 3, and Hey Pikmin all have great and very memorable soundtracks, but I really can't remember any tracks from Pikmin 2 and 4 other than Pikmin 4's title theme. I suppose that could be personal taste, so I won't really count it against the game, but And it's not like I think the music's bad, I just don't think it's memorable. I hope you can see what I'm talking about now. Pikmin 4 messes up on a bunch of the little things, and those little things start to pile up over time for me. The game doesn't have the same charm that the rest of the games in the series do, in my opinion. Something about it just feels off. Even Hey Pikmin has a ton of charm to it, but that charm just isn't really in Pikmin 4. And it's definitely not nostalgia, because I just played all the games for the first time like a week ago. Pikmin 4 isn't bad by any means, and I had a fun time with it, but I can't help but feel a little bit disappointed. If you want a Pikmin game on Switch, I recommend Pikmin 1 or 3. I think they're better than 4. Well, anyway, I have been your ghost with the most and your fabulous host, and thank you for watching.